The morning air outside the courthouse is thick, heavy with a sense that even the sky knows what's to unfold inside. The Brown family enters, turning heads, whispering, staring, trying to piece together what could possibly bring the Sister Wives clan into a courtroom this tense, this charged, this ready to explode. Fluorescent lights above hum softly, and the cold marble floor echoes with each step that the family makes. Meri walks in first. Her face isn't angry. It's controlled, almost eerie in its calmness. But her eyes tell a deeper story. They're tired. They've seen too much betrayal, swallowed too many excuses. And today, she isn't hiding behind politeness or loyalty anymore. In her hands is that thick, sealed folder, the one she's refused to let out of her sight since the day she received it. Kody follows behind her, trying to project confidence. He squares his shoulders, lifts his chin slightly, but he can't fake the stiffness in his jaw. His bravado is cracked, just enough to show he's scared. Robyn stays close to him, gripping his arms so tightly that her fingers are trembling. She keeps glancing at Meri's folder like it's a ticking bomb. Christine sits in the second row of chairs, her face emotionless, though her hands never stop fidgeting. Next to her, Janelle tries to appear composed, but something in the way she exhales tells an onlooker that she has held secrets too heavy for too long. When the judge comes into the room, all chatter just stops. The weight of this case is unmistakable from the off. This isn't some commonplace family falling out. This is an unraveling, a very public dissection of the Browns' deepest fractures, and it's palpable. The judge adjusts her glasses and scans the room, her gaze lingering for a moment on the folder in Meri's hands. Today, we are here to address allegations of falsified information, withholding DNA evidence intentionally, and emotional misconduct within the Brown family, she says sternly. This court will hear testimony from each party involved. Her voice reverberates around the room like the last word. Kody leans forward immediately, attempting to insert his usual charm. Your Honor, with all due respect, this is being blown out of proportion. My family. Mr. Brown, the judge interrupts. You will speak when it is your turn. Please sit back. Kody's face flushes to red, but he does as told. Robyn squeezes his hand, whispering something no one else can hear. In the meantime, Meri sits still, her eyes fixed on the judge. She neither blinked nor moved. She didn't look at anyone around her. The folder is on her lap, yet her hand atop it is a protective, almost guarding gesture. The judge turns to her. Mrs. Brown, it is my understanding that you possess documents relevant to this case. Meri nods once, just once, no hesitation. Before these are presented, the judge continues. The court needs context. We shall begin with a full account of the events that led to these allegations. And with that, the tale unfolds. Meri inhales slowly, her chest rising in preparation for the words that follow. But before she says one word, we are whisked away into a flashback. The months prior to this trial, the storm brewing beneath the surface. It all started in the kitchen of her quiet rental home. No cameras, no production crew, no pretending. Just Meri alone that night, replaying a conversation she overheard, one she was never meant to hear. Kody and Robyn arguing behind a half-closed door, Robyn's voice breaking as she said, "We can't let them find out. The DNA test changes everything. It ruins everything." Meri stood frozen in the hallway, heart pounding, every word hitting her like a punch. She didn't know what the test was for, whose DNA was involved, or what it changed, but she knew one thing instantly. They were hiding something big, something that went far beyond normal family tension. The next morning, Kody acted normal, cheerful even, but Robyn wouldn't meet her eyes. No emotional theatrics now. That's when suspicion became certainty in Meri's brain. She'd been lied to for years, quietly, carefully, consistently. From then on, things spiraled. Christine started acting like she was distant, almost haunted by something she wasn't saying. Janelle became quieter than ever, studying everyone like she was measuring how much longer the family could hold together. Back in court, Meri finally raises her head and starts talking aloud. Her voice doesn't quiver. It's actually steady, steady enough to flinch Kody. "I didn't want it to come to this," she says softly. But when the truth is avoided for too long, it becomes something dangerous, something poisonous. And Christine's eyes begin to glisten, knowing exactly what Meri means. She lived it too. Robyn wipes her eyes dramatically, but the judge doesn't bat an eyelash. She'd seen that act before. Meri continues, "When I overheard them arguing about a DNA test, I didn't know what to think, but I knew what it felt like. I knew what it meant. It meant I'd been left out again, lied to again, pushed outside the circle again." Her voice drops into pain that's been held for years. The judge asked, "Did you confront them?" "No," Meri replies, "because I knew they would twist it, or worse still, deny everything. So instead, I found the truth myself." A murmur spreads through the courtroom. Kody leans forward aggressively. "Your Honor, this is exactly the kind of manipulation." "One more interruption, Mr. Brown, and I will remove you from the courtroom," the judge warns sharply. Robyn tugs his sleeve, panic rising in her expression. Meri goes on, undeterred. "I ordered a DNA test, not the one they were hiding, a new one. One they knew nothing about. I needed answers. I needed the truth they weren't willing to face." She pauses. Her breathing slows. The entire room is hanging on her next sentence. "I have those results with me today." The judge leans slightly forward. "Are you prepared to submit them to the court?" The room freezes, literally. No one moves, not even the bailiff. Kody's eyes widen with something that looks shockingly like fear. Christine's hand covers her mouth. Janelle stiffens, her shoulders tightening. Robyn's face drains of color as she mutters something under her breath. Meri lifts the folder, slowly, carefully, deliberately. Her fingers shake only once, before she straightens out. And just as she prepares to take a first step towards the judge raises a hand. "Mrs. Brown," she says in a low, firm voice, "before the court receives this document, each and every member of your family will testify before the court." Meri freezes mid-step. Kody exhales in relief, trying to hide the fact. Christine's eyes widen. Robyn's body sags a bit, as if she dodged a death blow. The judge continues, "We will begin with Christine Brown. Mrs. Brown, please approach the stand." Christine rises slowly, but one thing is clear from her expression. She's about to say something that will shatter the room. The courtroom shifts as Christine rises from her seat. Her movements are slow, deliberate, like someone carrying years of pain in every step. She walks toward the witness stand without looking at Kody or Robyn, though their eyes burn into her back like desperate, silent warnings. When she reaches the stand, she places her hand on the Bible, but her voice cracks the moment she says, "I do." Not because she is nervous, but because she knows this is the moment she finally stops protecting the man who never protected her. The judge nods to her to proceed. Christine's chest rises as she pulls in a shaky breath. "Your Honor, I didn't want to be here. I didn't want any of us to be here." She pauses, glancing at Meri, who gives her a small, supportive nod. But I realize something. Silence only helps the person doing the hurting. Kody shifts sharply in his seat, rolling his eyes, and promptly receives a look from the judge that would wither granite. Christine's voice shakes at first, but gains strength with each word. I lived in that family for decades. I didn't just see the cracks. I lived in them. And I kept quiet because that's what a good wife does. But this, she gestures to the courtroom. This is the moment we stop lying. The courtroom gets so quiet that the hum of the air conditioner even seems loud. Mrs. Brown, says the judge calmly, would you explain to the court how you would have played a part in events surrounding said DNA concealment? Christine swallows hard, her fingers of one hand tightening on the side of the witness chair as she steadies herself. The truth, she says, is the envelope wasn't just hidden. It was hidden on purpose. Parenthetical. A whisper ripples through the gallery. Christine's eyes darken, remembering. It happened 2 years before the issue ever came to Meri. I walked into Kody and Robyn's house one afternoon. No cameras, no producers, just family. At least that's what it was supposed to be. But when I stepped inside, I heard whispering. I went toward the hallway and saw Robyn holding a white envelope, the kind that comes from a DNA testing center. She pauses. She looked terrified, Christine says. I'd never seen her like that. When she realized I'd seen the envelope, she jumped and tried to hide it behind her back. Robyn gasps aloud in court. That's not fair. That's not. The judge raises a hand. Mrs. Brown, you will have your turn. Sit down. Robyn slumps back, already welling up, her bottom lip quivering with great melodrama. Christine focuses forward again. I asked her what the envelope was. I wasn't accusing her of anything. I was just confused. Robyn stared at me, eyes wide, and said, Christine, please, don't tell Kody you saw this. Kody's face tightens in embarrassment and anger. And that's when, Christine says, I knew something was deeply wrong. She told me it was a misunderstanding, that she and Kody were just clearing up some paperwork. But her hands were shaking. She couldn't even look me in the eye. Christine inhales slowly, fighting back her emotion. Later that night, I confronted Kody. I asked him if there was something he needed to tell me. He brushed me off, said it was none of my business. The judge takes notes, unconcerned about Kody's rising frustration. And then, Christine says, her voice dropping to a whisper, Robyn called me. She sounded panicked, scared. She begged me not to bring it up again, and said the DNA test was a mistake that shouldn't have happened. I tried asking her what she meant, but she hung up. She stops, looking at her hands. That was the night I realized the family wasn't what I thought it was any longer. It was also the night that my heart broke. The room is silent. Even Kody's breathing seems louder. Christine wipes a tear from her cheek, but forces herself to continue. Weeks later, I saw Kody holding the same envelope. I only saw it for a moment, but it was the same one. And then it was gone. The judge leans forward. Gone as in destroyed? Christine nods, her head turning slowly. He said it was garbage. But the way he held it, the way he jammed it into the fire. Her voice breaks. It wasn't garbage. It was something he didn't want anyone to see. Gasps ripple through the courtroom. Kody stands up suddenly. That never happened. She's twisting everything. The judge slams her gavel. Sit down, Mr. Brown. Now. He sits, seething, nostrils flared like a trapped bull. Christine continues, her voice steadier now. After that day, everything changed. Robyn became more emotional. Kody became more distant. Meri was pushed out even further, and Janelle. I could see the fear in her eyes, too. She pauses, her gaze softening when it falls briefly on Janelle. But the worst part, Christine says, was the way Kody talked when he didn't know I was listening. He kept saying things like, "It'll ruin us," and "they can't know," and "we have to protect the family." Except it was only him and Robyn he was protecting. Christine's voice trails off to a whisper. We weren't wives anymore. We were shields. And when those shields cracked, he got angry. Judge clinches, having her throat cleared. Mrs. Brown, did you ever see the contents of the DNA envelope? No, Christine says with conviction. But I know this. The reason we're here today is because that envelope didn't disappear by accident. It was hidden, then destroyed, because the truth inside it threatened Kody's image. Kody struggles again to his feet, his fists clenched. You're lying. You've always been against me. This whole thing. The judge bangs his gavel again. Mr. Brown, one more outburst, and I will hold you in contempt. Robyn latches onto Kody's arm, her head shaking fervently. Stop, she whispers, her voice cracking. Christine's voice softens, but the pain behind it cuts the room like glass. I stayed quiet because I didn't want my kids to see their family fall apart. But we were already broken. Her eyes glisten. I just didn't want to admit it. She breathes deeply, holding back sobs. And when Meri discovered her own truth, when she heard what she heard, I knew. This was the moment the lies finally had to end. She folds her hands. Mrs. Brown, is there anything else you wish to add before we call the next witness? Christine hesitates. Her eyes lift slowly, directly toward Robyn. Yes, she says, voice steadying. I think Robyn should explain what she meant the day she told me, if this comes out, he'll never forgive me. Because I still don't know what she meant by that, but I think she does. The entire courtroom jerks. The color drains from Robyn's face. Kody freezes, looking like he wasn't expecting that at all. The judge turns her eyes toward Robyn. Mrs. Brown, do you wish to respond? Robyn rises slowly, legs trembling, eyes pooling with tears. But her look isn't one of just fear. It's guilt. She clasps her hands, her voice shaking as she speaks directly to the judge. There is something Christine misunderstood, Robyn says quietly. A chilling silence sweeps through the courtroom. And I think it's time I explained what really happened. The courtroom holds its breath. The courtroom felt heavier than before, as if the very walls understood that what was coming next could split the Brown family beyond repair. After Meri's shocking reveal in the previous session, the entire atmosphere shifted, from tense to explosive. But nothing prepared anyone for what happened the moment Robyn took the stand. Robyn's hands shook as she approached the witness seat. She tried to hide it, but everyone could see she was unraveling. Her eyes darted toward Kody, searching for reassurance, for strength, for the kind of support she always claimed he gave her. But for the first time, Kody didn't reach back. He sat frozen, staring at the judge, jaw tense, fingers tapping in uneven, frustrated beats. It was the first sign that even he had doubts now. Robyn swallowed hard as she was sworn in, her voice cracking so softly that some people in the gallery leaned forward just to hear her. The judge nodded for her to begin, and immediately Robyn launched into tears. Not regular tears, full sobs. The kind that sounded rehearsed, but desperate at the same time. Your Honor, she choked out, lifting a trembling tissue to her cheek. I have never tried to tear this family apart. Everything I did, everything I sacrificed, was to protect my children and protect Kody. We have been under attack for years. Her voice echoed across the wooden benches, but the judge didn't flinch. Christine crossed her arms. Janelle raised an eyebrow. Meri simply stared, her expression unreadable. Robyn was continuing. breathing sharply between her words. When the accusation started, I didn't know what to do. I didn't understand why I was being targeted. I didn't understand why the wives I loved, my sister wives, turned against me. Christine snorted loudly enough to earn a warning glance from the judge. Robyn's tears thickened. They said I manipulated. They said I lied. They said I controlled everything. But that's not true. I was scared, Your Honor. I was terrified. She dragged her gaze toward Meri, eyes red and watery. And I was especially scared of what Meri knew. The courtroom collectively inhaled. Even Kody jerked visibly in his chair. Meri blinked, almost amused. What I knew? She murmured under her breath, loud enough for cameras to catch, but quiet enough the judge didn't scold her. The judge leaned forward. Mrs. Brown, would you care to elaborate on that? Robyn hesitated. Her lips trembled as she clutched the edge of the witness stand, knuckles white. There were conversations, she whispered. Things said in confidence. Things said in fear. Things said during a time when the family was falling apart. And Meri, she wasn't supposed to use them against me. She promised she wouldn't. Meri slowly exhaled, her expression tightening for the first time. The judge raises an eyebrow. Mrs. Brown, this court is not concerned with interpersonal drama. If you have factual testimony relevant to this case, provide it. If not, do not bring it up. Robyn nodded quickly, wiping her eyes again. Yes, Your Honor. What I'm trying to say is, I made decisions because I was afraid. I thought I was protecting my children, protecting our home, protecting our spiritual marriage. Kody's eyes flickered toward her, confusion mixing with frustration. What decisions? The judge asked firmly. And then, the moment that nearly took everyone's breath away, Robyn breathed hard and then whispered, I encouraged Kody to cut communication with the other wives. Gasps rippled across the courtroom. Christine's eyes widened. Janelle's face hardened. Meri just stared. Even Kody had leaned further in, as if he hadn't heard right. You what? He demanded, against all courtroom protocol. Robyn flinched. Tears flooded her face as she shook her head. I didn't mean it like that. I wasn't trying to control you, Kody. I was trying to stop the constant arguing. I thought, if we all took space, maybe things would calm down. The judge raised a hand toward Kody. Mr. Brown, you will remain silent unless spoken to. Kody sank back, face tense and flushed. Robyn continued through sods. I told him distancing himself would help. I told him the wives needed to miss him, to appreciate him. I thought it would help the marriage. I didn't think it would destroy everything. Christine's jaw clenched. So you were the reason he ignored our calls for months, she said sharply. The judge shot her a warning look, but didn't reprimand her this time, maybe recognizing the emotional weight behind the words. Robyn shook her head violently. That wasn't what I meant. I never wanted him to abandon anyone. But Christine wasn't buying it. You isolated him. You wanted him to yourself. No, Robyn cried. I wanted peace. Janelle's voice was quieter, yet chillier. You wanted control, Robyn. And now we finally have proof. Robyn buried her face in her hands and sobbed even harder. But then, something changed. When she finally did look up again, her crying slowed. Her expression changed. Her breathing slowed. Almost as if the crying was no longer useful. Almost as if something inside her snapped. Her voice had gone quiet, but was firm. You all blame me for everything. Every fight, every breakup, every wound in this family. But you never once looked at yourselves. Christine bristled. Excuse me? Robyn raised a finger. You all pushed him away long before I came along. You made him feel disrespected. You made him feel unwanted. You made him feel like he had no place in his own family. I didn't break this marriage. You did. All of you. The courtroom froze. This wasn't crying anymore. Anger was this. Raw, bitter, explosive. And you want to talk about manipulation? Robyn continued. What about the years of gossiping behind my back? The years of whispering that I was the favorite? The years of excluding me and my kids? The moment something went wrong, you didn't blame yourselves. You blamed me. Christine stood up abruptly, fast enough that the bailiff stepped forward. You destroyed our sisterhood, she snapped. You pushed Meri out, then Janelle, and then me. You told Kody we were disrespectful. You protected your marriage and threw ours under the bus. Robyn shot back. You did not need my help to ruin your marriages. You did that yourself. The tension became a living thing, thick, sharp, vibrating through every inch of the room. The judge brought the gavel down once. Enough. Everything went silent. Except Robyn. Her final words were soft. Too soft. The kind that hit harder because they didn't need force. I never wanted this, she whispered, but I refused to take the blame for a family that was already breaking long before I showed up. She closed her eyes, slower, and her tears fell once more, but they were different this time. Panicked not manipulative, just defeated. The judge nodded. Thank you, Mrs. Brown. You may step down. When Robyn headed to her seat, Kody didn't reach for her. He didn't comfort her. He didn't even glance at her. Instead, he stared at the floor, as if realizing, maybe for the first time, that the woman he defended for years might have finally said too much. And the other wives? They sat silent and appalled, suddenly grasping something terrible. The courtroom was still buzzing for Robyn's emotional testimony. Whispers crept through the crowd like electricity. Camera shutters snapped. Even the judge looked unsettled, rubbing the bridge of her nose as if feeling the weight of a case far heavier than anyone anticipated. The bailiff cleared his throat. Your Honor, the next witness has arrived. Everyone shifted, expecting maybe one of the older kids, or a family friend, or possibly even an expert witness. But then the side door opened. Gasps erupted across the room. Not Christine, not Janelle, not Meri, not Robyn, but someone no one had seen in years. Meri's child. The one who left the family dynamic long before the public drama escalated. The one who rarely spoke, rarely appeared, rarely engaged. Their sudden appearance sent shockwaves through the courtroom. Meri nearly stood up, instinctively reaching out before catching herself. Her eyes filled instantly, not with shock, but with something deeper, older, more painful. Kody's jaw dropped. Robyn's face went ghost pale. Christine and Janelle exchanged stunned looks. Even the judge paused. You are Leon Brown? Leon nodded. Yes, Your Honor. Their voice was calm, steady, but carried years of unspoken history. They approached the witness stand with quiet confidence, and unlike Robyn's trembling entrance, Leon moved with purpose, shoulders firm, eyes sharp, no sign of fear. The bailiff administered the oath. Leon raised their hand, voice unwavering. I swear to tell the truth. The judge folded her hands. State your relation to this case. Leon took a deep breath. I am Meri's only child. And I'm here because I witnessed things that affected all of us. Kody swallowed hard. He already sensed this won't go well. Leon said slowly, carefully. For years, I watched my mother try to hold this family together. I watched her bend, break, rebuild, and bend again. And for years, I watched her get blamed for things she didn't do. A muscle in Kody's cheek flickered. Leon's eyes scanned the wives before coming to rest on the judge. This isn't just about the DNA results. This isn't just about the accusations. This is about a pattern of behavior, one that destroyed our home from the inside. The judge leant forward, interested. Go on. Leon exhaled sharply, and the floodgates opened. I grew up watching the cracks before anyone else did, Leon said. As a kid, you see things differently. You see who gets attention, you see who gets ignored. You see who your father picks and who he leaves behind. Their tone sharpened. I watched him choose his favorites. Kody's face colored red. Leon continued. When Robyn joined the family, everything shifted. Attention shifted. Resources shifted. Time shifted. It didn't happen all at once. It was slow, like a tide. But one day we realized we were drowning. A heavy silence fell. Robyn blinked hard, turning away. Leon went on, his voice controlled, yet full of buried hurt. Dad stopped coming around as much. He stopped checking in. He stopped asking how we were. He stopped showing up, physically and emotionally. Their voice wavered for the first time. When you're a kid, you think it's your fault. You think maybe you're just not worth the visit. Meri looked down, the tears falling silently. Kody opened his mouth, but the judge raised a hand. Mr. Brown, say nothing. Leon continued. Leon breathed shallowly. I remember the day everything changed. Dad came to see us. He was distant, angry for reasons he wouldn't explain. He told my mom she wasn't respecting him. He told her the family blamed her. He told her she needed to make more effort. Their hands clenched into fists on the edges of the witness stand, but she was trying. She tried every single day. The courtroom was in absolute silence. She tried to stay connected. She tried to keep peace. She tried to be a wife to someone who had already emotionally left her. Meri closed her eyes and tears simply flowed now. And then, Leon said softly, the final blow. Dad told her he didn't want an intimate marriage anymore. A collective gasp. Kody looked at the floor. Leon continued grimly. She cried. I heard her through the walls. She tried to hide it from me. But I knew. I always knew. They swallowed hard. And when someone is hurting that much, the smallest betrayal becomes impossible to survive. What I'm about to say, I hesitated for a long time, because it's painful, for everyone. Cameras zoomed. Meri held her breath. Kody looked terrified. Leon's voice dropped lower. I know what Meri found. I know what she kept hidden. Because I was there when she discovered it. I saw her face. I saw her break. A murmur of shock ran through the courtroom. The judge nodded for them to continue. Leon turned slowly to Kody. You had a choice, Dad. You could have told the truth. You could have admitted your mistake. You could have protected your family. Kody's lips parted, trembling. But instead, you cover it up. Robyn's head snapped toward him, panic rising in her eyes. Leon continued. You had a relationship. A private, emotional, inappropriate relationship. With someone outside the family. Someone Mom discovered. Someone you thought she'd never find out about. The courtroom erupted into a whisper. Kody went white. Robyn went rigid as a statue. Christine exchanged wide-eyed looks with Janelle. Both were utterly amazed. Meri didn't move. A single tear slid down her cheek, but she kept staring ahead, expression empty, hollow, exhausted. The judge raised her voice. Is there any proof for this accusation? Leon nodded. Yes. My mother kept proof. She didn't want to use it. She hoped maybe Dad would tell the truth himself. Leon threw a brief, sideways glance at the statue-like Meri. But he never did. Kody finally broke protocol. That relationship meant nothing, he blurted out. It wasn't physical, it was just emotional. Cheating is still cheating, Leon snapped, louder than anyone had ever heard them speak. The courtroom gasped again. The judge brought the gavel down. Order! Order! Leon took a deep breath and composed himself. I'm not here to destroy anyone. I'm here because my mother has been blamed for everything, for years, while the truth sat buried. And I'm here because the wives deserve to know what really happened. They stopped and looked at Kody directly. You broke them long before they left you. Absolute silence. The kind of silence that only comes after a bomb has gone off. Finally, the judge nodded. Thank you, Leon. You may step down. Leon walked back toward the benches, without looking at Kody or Robyn. Meri reached out, brushing Leon's hand lightly. A silent thank you. Leon squeezed her fingers, then took their seat. Kody sat frozen. Robyn looked shaken, blinking rapidly, as if trying to piece together everything she just heard. This changes everything, Christine hissed to Janelle. And it did. Because now, with truth cracking it open wide, the judge said, we will continue with the final witness in session 5. And everyone knew. A courtroom felt different now. Not tense, not chaotic, not loud, but eerily still, the kind of silence that comes after a storm, when everyone knows the worst winds haven't arrived yet. Kody Brown sat rigid, jaw locked, eyes red, chest rising and falling in hard, uneven breaths. Robyn leaned close, whispering frantic questions he refused to answer. Christine and Janelle kept their eyes forward, neither daring to look at Meri. And Meri, she sat quietly, palms folded in her lap, emotionless, drained, a woman emptied by years of truth hiding and truth chasing. The judge cleared her throat. We will now proceed with the final witness. Everyone straightened. The bailiff opened the side door, and Janelle Brown stepped out. But this wasn't the calm, measured Janelle the public remembered. This Janelle looked haunted. Her eyes carried sleepless nights. Her posture stiffened with nerves she tried and failed to hide. Her fingers twitched as she walked, almost like she was resisting the urge to turn around and run. She approached the witness stand slowly, keeping her head down. The courtroom watched her with intense curiosity. The judge nodded softly. Brown, please raise your right hand. Janelle did. Her voice cracked slightly as she said, I swear to tell the truth. Please be seated. She sank down into the chair and huffed out a quivery breath. The judge folded her hands. You may begin. Janelle's voice quavered on the first words. I never wanted to be here. Not for something like this. Her gaze flickered toward Kody, then away almost instantly. For years, I told myself the past didn't matter. That digging into things wouldn't help anyone. That keeping peace was better than reopening old wounds. She swallowed hard. But peace built on secrets isn't peace at all. The courtroom leaned forward. Janelle looked at the judge, forcing her voice to steady. There is something I've been hiding. Something I kept buried. Something that could have changed this family years ago. Christine stiffened. Robyn's face went white. Kody leaned forward slightly, placing himself on his mettle. Janelle added, long before the divorce, long before the split, long before the show even, I found something. Something that made me question whether the family was built on truth or illusion. She slowly reached into her purse and pulled out an old, yellowing envelope. The edges were frayed, the corners curled. It had never been opened. Whispers fluttered across the room. The judge leaned forward. "Mrs. Brown, is that—" "Yes." Her voice broke. "It is a DNA test." Kody's hands began to shake. Christine covered her mouth. Robyn whispered, "No, no, no, no." Meri stared straight ahead, eyes unblinking. The judge gestured gently. "Explain, please." She took another breath. "A long time ago, there was a rumor about one of the children, a rumor that could have destroyed the family if it were true. I won't say which child, not yet, because I won't expose them unless absolutely necessary." The crowd murmured. The judge silenced them. Janelle continued, her voice trembling. "I didn't want to believe it. I didn't want to entertain the idea. But I also couldn't escape it. I saw signs. I heard whispers. And then one day, I found this envelope." She held it up, hands shaking so violently she had to grip harder. "I didn't order this test. I didn't ask for it. Someone left it in my mailbox. Someone anonymous." Christine was whispering, "Oh my God." Janelle nodded at the reaction. "It terrified me. I didn't want to know what was inside. I didn't want to face the consequences. I thought, maybe if I never opened it, the truth couldn't hurt us." Her voice tensed. "But lies hurt worse." Janelle paused, staring at the envelope. "There was one night, years ago, when I nearly opened it. I remember sitting alone in my car, engine off, rain hitting the windshield. I held the envelope in both hands and told myself, just open it, just know the truth." Her eyes welled. "But then I thought about the kids, about the wives, about how much pain we were already in, and I told myself I couldn't be the reason this family fell apart." She gasped hard. "So I hid it." The judge asked softly, "What changed your mind now?" Janelle looked at Leon in the gallery, then at Meri, then at Christine, and finally at Kody. "You all deserve the truth, even if it hurts, even if it breaks us, because we are already broken." Kody clenched his fists. She turned fully toward him now. "For years, I defended you. I believed in you. I trusted you. Even when Christine left, even when Meri was hurting, even when the favoritism became impossible to ignore." Her voice hardened. "But today I heard something that fit everything into place." She nodded in Leon's direction. "When Leon said you had an emotional affair, something inside me clicked. Because that wasn't the only secret you were hiding, was it?" Kody's face reddened. Robyn whispered frantically, "Don't answer! Don't say anything!" Janelle didn't wait. She extended the envelope toward the judge. "Your Honor, I want this opened. Today. Right now." The judge stared at Janelle with solemn eyes. "Are you absolutely sure?" Janelle nodded, tears slipping silently down her face. "For 20 years, I've been afraid. I'm done being afraid." The judge nodded to the bailiff. He stepped forward, took the envelope, and handed it carefully to the judge like it was radioactive. The judge held it between her fingers. "This envelope has remained sealed since the day it was delivered?" "Yes," said Janelle. "I never touched the seal." The air seemed to thicken. Everyone held their breath. The judge had picked up a small silver letter opener. She pressed it firmly under the lip of the envelope. A soft slice resounded through the area. Christine grasped the bench. Meri clasped her hands tightly. Leon leaned forward, eyes wide. Robyn shook her head violently. Kody mouthed something, maybe a prayer, maybe a curse. The judge unfolded the document. Read it once, then again. Her brows lowered, her lips tightened. Kody looked like he might faint. Finally, the judge exhaled. "I'm going to read this result aloud." Janelle's stomach dropped. The courtroom froze. The judge cleared her throat. And then she said, "This test confirms that the child in question is not biologically Kody Brown's." Silence, absolute. Janelle covered her face, shoulders shaking. Christine gasped, hand flying to her mouth. Robyn let out a strangled sob. Leon stared at Kody with disbelief. Meri's eyes filled once more, but not with shock, with mourning. Kody himself fell back against his chair, utterly destroyed. After a long, thick moment, the judge spoke again. "And the test also confirms the biological father was known to the mother at the time of conception." Gasps. Christine whispered, "No way. No way." Robyn looked like she might collapse. Kody blinked rapidly, trying to breathe. The judge closed the document. "This changes the legal and emotional landscape of every testimony given so far." She paused, letting the weight settle. "We will reconvene after a recess. This courtroom needs time, and so does this family." The gavel struck, and just like that, the session ended. A family shattered, secrets exposed, truths unleashed. Nothing would ever be the same.